Hello there, everybody. This is Cholera, and welcome to Set 4 of Samson Khan versus SKT1, and this is Stork versus Bisu. This is quite a storied rivalry, as those of you who've been following pro gaming for a few years will know. These two, according to the Team Liquid player database, have played each other 17 times over their lifetime careers. This is the Taebong, the Taebong rivalry, or the Taebong era, if you want to call it so, although I think perhaps some other players would have something to say about that, whether the Taebong era is over or not. Is in dispute, of course, but I'd say it's probably pretty much over. The Protoss' only win in the fall, anyway. But anyway, Stork versus Bisu, of course, faced off against each other in an epic finals in the MSL a few years ago. Best of 5 series that Bisu won 3-2. Stork, in the following couple of meetings in best of 3s, actually managed to beat Bisu. Overall, lifetime, look at this, 8-7 that they're counting here. So Stork is 8-7 against Bisu, at least according to this broadcast channel. Sometimes Team Liquid is slightly different based on what games it chooses to count or not. But overall, the whole point is they are very, very even players. They are both very good players. I would say both are running well, but Bisu is running super well recently. He, in his 15 games that he's played in the Pro League since he won the since his last since he won the OSL, he is 13-15. That is right, 13-15 Bisu is, and that is pretty nuts, if I may say so myself. Pretty much the only way to describe it. We've got ourselves Bisu in red at the 4 o'clock location, and we've got ourselves Stork in, I believe it was yellow, at the, I think it was the 10 o'clock location. I'm actually not sure. Looking up something. This map is Shades of Twilight, a new map for this season. It's a map that has your expansion on the low ground, and on the high ground, and your main base on the low ground. Okay, so Stork is actually at the 1 o'clock location, and Bisu's at the 4 o'clock location. You know, both of these players have played each other so many times, and they're both so on top of their games that I think a lot of this is very psychological. It's about trying to fake your opponent out, basically, as to what build you're going to go for. Basically, in the mid game, the Protoss player, chooses a build, and it is a very much like a rock, scissors, paper sort of situation where your build basically can counter one other build, and it gets countered by another type of build. Of course, if both of them choose the same type of build, then it comes down to micro, and I really would say it's a complete toss-up in that situation. Maybe, just maybe, Bisu would be slightly better with his ground control, and Stork would be slightly better with his Reaver control, but that's all, highly, highly arguable. Stork showed just a smidgen better play in the recent series than Bisu has, PvP, against each other. So perhaps I would say that that is a possibility. Looks like Stork, looks like this is Stork's base, and Stork looks like both players putting down the same location, a pylon in the same location, basically, right behind their mineral lines, and that's to stop the other player's probe from being able to circulate around easily. I mean, just both players have studied these maps so much that, they're doing exactly the same things. And both have started off with the same builds also. Both have gone 1 gate into gas, with the second pylon following, and the core following that. As you can see, these timings are completely identical, and the unit production is probably going to be identical also. Both players, are building 1 Zealot. Very, very standard here. And certainly, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here in this matchup. I mean, man, Stork and Bisu. There's just so many fights where it comes down to the wire between these two, because they really are the best 2 players around, and that usually ends up with some pretty epic confrontations. I would say, though, I mean, if I had to make a prediction, which you guys usually make fun of me if I do, or even if I don't, I would say Bisu is slightly playing better recently, just because of the victory he got against, well, spoiler, Okay, well, the victory he got against Jaedong, of course. which was quite incredible, if I may say so myself. I'm sorry, Bisu did not win the last OSL. I was looking at since his last couple of games in the OSL, so what I meant. Fantasy got into the finals of the OSL. My apologies. So since those games, Bisu has been 13 and 15. Yeah, I was wondering what I was saying wrong. I was like, I just messed something up. Now, I didn't have time to check, but now that I, thought about it for a while, yeah, I realized what I got wrong. It looks like both players have also gone 2-gate following their initial Summer X core, and both players have managed to kill out the scouting units. So, well, actually, Bisu is still chasing Storks, but regardless, both players are going to be choosing their next move very carefully. This is going to determine how their mid games go. Most likely, they're both going to go for a robotics facility next. That is generally the standard pattern after 2-gate. And the question is, who's going to go for Reavers, who's going to go for Observers, who's going to go for an earlier expansion, and that is what determines it. Both have gone for the Robo facility as expected. Of course, also, who moves out first? If one side tries to take a couple of pot shots on the other's units with their Dragoons, those tiny things, a couple of pot shots at the start of a battle without being able to be attacked back, those can make or break a battle for one of the two. Those can win a battle, certainly, because their builds are just so close. And, the thing about PvP, unlike ZVZ, which often also ends in complete mirror situations, PvP is slightly slower than ZVZ. So you'll actually have a chance to see, the strategies play out when they finally do differ, and also the micro actually happen. I mean, ZVZ, the micro is so fast, not to say it's less micro or anything, it's actually possibly even more. But, it happens so fast that you don't even notice what's going on. Most of the times the Mutalists are just going crazy, killing Scourge, and everything's dying midair, and you're just like, whoa, Hyuk lost at the end. But yeah, Stork is going to be going for a Observer first, and looks like Bisu is going for a Reavers first. Hope I didn't get that mixed up. I may have. Looks like, no, I'm sorry, I did get it mixed up. Bisu going for Observers first, and Stork going for Reavers first. As somewhat expected, based on the fact that Bisu really likes his scouting information, and Stork really likes his Reavers. Stork really is the pterodactyl Protoss, by the way. He was actually at a young age, he learned how to fly and carry eggs to drop upon his enemies. And more recently, he's changed that into Reavers. Stork looks like he's also thinking about a expansion. Yeah, he is going to expand at this point. So he's expecting that his Reaver Harass, or he's hoping that his Reaver Harass, can hold off Bisu, but Bisu is actually expanding also. Both players a little bit in the dark right now, but both of them have gone for builds that are very sustainable against pretty much any kind of thing the enemy can do. Oh, the Observer of Bisu misses the shuttle entirely, although Bisu looks like he's got a couple of Dragoons in his main. I'm not sure. Well, it looks like he's going to be prepared anyway because he's got Dragoons all around, and he's got those pylons spawning for him. He's not moving yet, though. He needs to start moving. Oh, Bisu did not know. No way. Stork definitely got in there. Sneaky, managing to kill off maybe 3 probes there. And Bisu's early Observer was pretty useless there. We'll see if Stork, we'll see if Bisu decides to go for Reavers also. Certainly a good thing to go for, and try to, use that to either push the front, defend the front, or go for some harassment. Although we could be seeing something different. We could be seeing a lot of gateways, or possibly something else. But no, it's just going to be those Reavers coming out for Bisu. Pretty much similar timing. Overall, for their Observers and for their Reavers, although the order was different. This map is the kind of map where it can lend to a longer Protoss versus Protoss game, because as you can see, you do have a ramp leading towards your natural expansion, and that ramp's going to be pretty easy to defend. There's also a side attack route, but that is a little more difficult. You have to sort of wrap around to get there. So it looks like both players are just going to be